When I was young, I did my first ever karate lesson, and it was great. You know, I was an expert. I knew everything. The teacher was shocked by how knowledgeable I was. So when he went to discuss it with my mother and asked why I wasn't in a more advanced class, my mother had to straight-face lie to him and say, "Oh, that's because my son is just very good. He's good at learning. He's good at picking things up." She never took me back to another karate lesson because she was very embarrassed, because I had straight-faced bullshitted a story about me being a ninja warrior to this teacher. And that is because I have a struck love and passion for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hi, I'm Siren. I'm an artist and an animator, and I like to redesign things. Welcome! Just before I go any further into this video, I wanted to say I have commissions open, and I also have a coffee that you can donate to if you like my stuff. You don't have to do any of that though. You can just like and comment and subscribe on this video and tell me how you think of it. Enjoy the video. So I just wanted to say, I'm basing everything off of the most recent iteration, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not the new movie that's coming out because it hasn't come out in my country yet, but I'm very excited to see it. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a fucking amazing show, and if you haven't seen it yet, I really encourage you to watch it wherever you can, however you can. So I'm just gonna set some ground rules for these new redesigns. These guys are siblings, so they have to look somewhat similar to each other. The vibes have to match their turtle counterpart, but my main goal is just to have a human design over their turtle design. To start off with, we have Mikey, the baby of the group, the embodiment of creativity. He is a chef, he is an artist, he dresses nice. I imagine he does a little graffiti around the turtle base, the turtle layer, whatever it's called, I can't remember for the life of me. He has a habit of customizing his clothing. He also likes to customize his brother's clothing with their permission first, because some of them aren't all that down for it. He paints his nails, and sometimes he draws on his arm. He has a future aspiration of becoming a tattoo artist, because I think that'd be great. And then as soon as he hits 18, he's getting all those tattoos. I wanted him to have the wildest kind of hair, like akin to Bob Ross, because, you know, Bob Ross is an artist. He has a poofy curly hair kind of deal situation. And then Mikey's an artist with a poofy curly hair situation. I tried to litter his orange all over his design. I kept his kneecaps. He has kneecaps, but no, I kept his knee guards, his shin guards. Also, for all the turtle designs, I've used their original mystic weapons. I didn't realize that at some point in the show, they get new weapons. And that's because I haven't seen the whole show. I gave him an outfit similar to the one in that one fashion episode, because I think it looks great. I enlarged his hoodie a bit to make it look similar to his shell. And what art kid doesn't have a pair of dirty old Converse? I mean, I sure did, but then I realized they hurt my feet and I have weird toes, so I do not wear Converse anymore. Next up, we have Raph. He is a sweet guy. I love this iteration of him. I've never been a fan of Raph in previous iterations just because he's always seemed like a cranky bitch. I've never liked characters that are angry for the sake of being angry. I understand his whole thing is about being a hot-tempered guy, but I don't like it. So I'm really glad that they pushed his personality in a different direction while still keeping with the Raph-ish vibe. I like how the show made sure that even though they've twisted the personalities around to be a little bit more silly and lighthearted, they still embody the turtle they're supposed to be, or in this case the human they're supposed to be. So like, as I said, Raph is a sweet guy with a tough exterior, and he is so protective of his younger brothers that it comes at his own detriment. And to show that, I put a couple of scars on his body. I should have done more, but I just wasn't feeling it at the time. He takes an almost parental role to his siblings, which is what Leo used to do in his previous iterations, and I think he does it for the movie iteration too. I wanted his clothing to match like the soft boy aesthetic. You know how there was like e-boys and soft boys. Like, I'm not saying that Raph is a fuckboy. I'm saying that Raph would dress similar but not have the fuckboy aspect to it. If I had any say in what his old favorite shows would be, I would say that Raph was a huge Care Bears fan, and so I drew like a little Care Bear design on his shirt. And I'm pretty sure he's taken most of the messages to heart. But unfortunately, as I finished off all the other Turtles designs, I realized that Raph's design actually does not vibe. Like, it's missing Raph. And so I scrapped it all and I redid his clothing to make it a little bit more sporty / ninja-y, more sporty if anything, something that's gonna give a little more fighting room. I also added his little spike arm guard things because I like those. I also noticed that, I don't know, I think it's just the way I put him on the canvas, but his head was really squashed, so I had to stretch it out a little. So you'll notice that his old design, it just looked like he was like drawn, what do you call it? Have you ever drawn on a sketchbook and you've had it at an angle, whether that angle is like a higher angle or a lower angle, it's tilted in some way, and when you decide to look at the thing that you've drawn front on, the character looks slanted? It looks like I did that, but specifically to his head, so I had to stretch out his head and adjust his body a little just to make sure he doesn't look like he's had his brain squashed out. I mean, Raph does have a brain, we know this, but we need to reflect that in his design. As for his shirt, I had no idea what to do. I didn't want to leave it like a solid color. I wanted to have some kind of pattern. So at the end of the day, I thought a snapping turtle would be cool. Maybe I'd do it like a snapping turtle shell or something to match his turtle thing, but I decided against that and instead used the Hamato clan symbol that looks like a pizza. I have no idea if I actually drew it right, so hopefully I did. And just like a little tidbit about his power thing. His power is like a gigantification hologram. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm keeping that as his turtle form because I think that looks cooler than just a guy. And of course, sneakers, because next up we have Donnie. Also, I have to apologize if my voice sounds a bit croaky. I think I'm sick. I actually can't tell. I'm just feeling a bit off, or I've been feeling off for the last couple of days. I'm pretty sure I'm sick. But yeah, Donnie is the smart one and the funny one, as he's mentioned throughout the show. Again, my favorite iteration of Donnie. I like how he's just mad scientist-y, and he doesn't take himself too seriously, and he still cares for his brothers in a way. And I've seen a lot of people dress Donnie up in tech gear, which, you know, I vibe with that. However, Donnie seems more like the character to prioritize his comfort over that stuff. I mean, he's working in a lab all day. He's making things. He wants to be comfortable while he's doing it. Which is where his hair came to a standstill. Like, I was thinking about his hair a lot, and like, he would probably have his hair natural, let it just kind of hang out But then I was thinking, actually, if he's working in a lab, he's probably going to singe it off. So he's pinned it back with his bandana, purple bandana thing. And speaking of singeing, in the show he draws on his eyebrows, which I think is a cool idea. So I thought, Donnie at some point has singed his eyebrows off due to one of his experiences, and the hair's just never grown back the same way. So to compensate for that, he draws his eyebrows on every day. His brothers have no idea about this, nobody has any idea. It's just Donnie's little secret. They just noticed one day his eyebrows were really big and they didn't think about it. They didn't question it. Keeping up with the comfort aspect, in that one episode with the purple dragons, he fell in love with the hoodie they gave him. And I thought that was really fun, so I implemented it, but more of a knockoff thing. So instead of it being like a proper purple dragon, he made it himself with the help of Mikey. It's very comforting. He wears like just tracky decks and a pair of Ugg boots too. These Ugg boots are specially modified so that he can run around in them and they won't like slip around, because you know they still have to fight, and Donnie would rather fight in those clothes than whatever else. I did leave Leo for last for a good reason, and that's because he's my favorite character altogether, and it didn't help that his voice actor for the show was Ben Schwartz. Like when I first heard his voice, when I watched like Randy Cunningham 9th Grade Ninja, I fell in love. I'm like, I love that voice. I vibe with this guy. He seems great. And then he just kept popping up as my favorite character, like Dewey from DuckTales. Or is it Louie? I don't know. And then he was in Sonic. He was a Sonic. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's great. I love his voice. And then he just pops up in my favorite show, Bob's Burgers. And it's like, you're great, man. I love your voice. And I had to really fight between making him match his voice actor or making him match his personality. So I had to splice it a little. He's got a very relaxed vibe to him, so I wanted to give him a almost beachgoer theme. I also love how in all his iterations he's always had a huge respect and love for his inheritance, his Japanese inheritance, and for the culture. And so I gave him the ukiyo-e art. I just wanted to give him little clouds in his shirt because I thought it looked very bougie. I see Leo having long hair so that he can swish it in the wind like those slow motion models do. He would so do that. And I imagine at one point he tried to bleach his hair blonde. However, it ended up just melting his luxurious locks, so he decided never again. And because I'm a criminal, I'm making him wear socks with his thongs. Tee-hee. I honestly have to say that all the characters in the show have been my favorite iterations so far. I just love how playful and chaotic this show is, and so I want to reflect it in this final piece. Please, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Taking shots at the enemy, I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough as
I'm what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got heart, I'm ready to change. Scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots. You were not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots. You were not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots. You were not as tough as me.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was such a breath of fresh air. I mean, as a Studio Trigger fan and a fan of Gainax, I could immediately tell this show was a wholehearted love letter to that. And I did want to try to reflect that in my final illustration. When I heard of this show's early cancellation, I was devastated. I'd barely been able to see the show being aired in my country. I mean, I was lucky to catch 1 or 2 episodes on Nickelodeon. Hell, I was so desperate to see this show, I went out and bought a DVD player. I went out and bought the DVD, and that was part 1 of the first season, and I could not find the second part. I couldn't. They didn't do any other releasing. I mean, I can check now and they probably released the whole thing, hopefully, but like, I couldn't find any other episode of this show. What I'm saying is, if anyone has any way for me to watch this show for free and legally, please message me, because I want to watch it and I refuse to pay for it. And if there's one thing I've taken out of this whole thing, is that Eurobeat music, like Eurobeat remixes, anything, it's like crack. I have felt so pumped the entire time I was drawing. I was dancing, I was vibing. It kind of came at a consequence of my lines looking a little bit wobbly, but I was vibing so hard. Like this, the final illustration I worked on for like 8.5 hours straight. Just anyways, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching the video if you've made it this far. I have a coffee if you want to donate, or commissions open. You can also access my commissions through Coffee. And if you like my stuff, feel free to comment below. Tell me what you love about this. Tell me like what you love about Rise of the TMNT. I want to find more people that are interested in it, and I want to talk your ear off. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to watch the rest of the fucking show. Sorry. But anyways, if you did like this, like, comment, subscribe, you know the rules, you know the game. And thank you. Bye!